Pew, 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 pew. Welcome to Slav Guns. Today, class is class. Welcome to Slav Guns. Thanks for joining in. Today, we are here to take a look at the Thompson Center TCR-22. It's a semi-automatic 22 long rifle. It is a gun that is going to be great for plinking, it's going to be great for as a varmint gun, and it's going to be a great gun to teach somebody brand new to shoot on. Now, if it looks like a Ruger 1022, well, that's because it almost is. Obviously, as you might be aware, the Ruger 1022 patent has expired a long time ago, and since then there have been many companies that have been making similar guns. Thompson Center is under the American Outdoor Brands umbrella, same parent company as Smith & Wesson, and they just happen to be the first major company to try to make a 1022 clone. Now, this is not a straight-up 1022 clone. So what Thompson Center has done is they've taken a look at some of the most commonly requested features and upgrades that gun owners have been doing on their Ruger 1022s for years, and they've included them in a factory gun. So let's start from the back and go forward. As you will find, the stock is distinct. What this is, it's a very lightweight polymer stock that was produced in conjunction with Magpul, and you'll even see a Magpul logo right on the forend. The stock features a very nice pistol type grip, so it's much more upright than the typical 1022 stock or regular stock that you're going to find. It makes it much easier to shoot, and both kids and adults have enjoyed it quite a bit. It's almost like an AR-15 pistol grip. It's definitely enjoyable. Now, the stock, if it looks familiar or somewhat similar, is because it should. Magpul also has a Ruger 1022 stock that was made for the takedown models, and it looks similar but not quite. That stock is about $100, and what you'll find is that there's a cutout here that you can use this to store, and it's a takedown model, so you can store the barrel, you can take it down, and it stores right in here for a nice compact package. This is not one of those. This is a regular polymer fixed stock. Moving forward, what you're going to find is that the receiver looks almost identical to a 1022. The difference is you do have a rail that's machined right into the receiver. So with a lot of the base 1022s, what you have to do, like they'll either come with a base or you purchase a base, and then you have to screw it on into the receiver. With the Thompson Center TCR-22, it's already machined in, so you don't have to go out, buy a separate rail, and there's less things that can go wrong in terms of the base getting loose. On the other side, you will see the the Thompson Center TCR-22 logo and TCR-22 written on the side. The charging handle is also a little bit different, so instead of like a flat piece, they did make an oversized handle. Moving back, you do have a rear Peep sight, and might as well kind of skip forward a little bit. I'm going to point the gun towards the camera, don't freak out. You do have a nice fiber optic sight that people really enjoyed. Skipping back here, you will find basically what looks like a Ruger 1022. The one difference here is that you do have an oversized safety, so it's going to be a little bit bigger. You have the standard magazine release, and you have a bolt hold open. Now, you are going to find something a little bit different with the gun, and that it holds open. More specifically, let me show you. Let me release the bolt. Okay. Let me know if you see anything different. Yes, the TCR-22 does have a built-in feature for a last round bolt hold open. Now this works only with the TCR-22 magazine that is built by Thompson Center. Now what it has this little lever that is going to pop up, and when there's no more ammo, it's going to hold the bolt open. These magazines look similar to a standard 10-22 magazines, and both of these will work in the TCR-22, and even the TCR-22 magazine will work in a Ruger 10-22, and we've tried them, but with this mag, you're not going to have a last round bolt open on a 10-22, but you will have it on this gun. And if you take a regular 10-22 mag, it will not hold open on the last round. Moving forward, you do have a button rifle barrel. Haven't had any accuracy issues. Haven't gone out and tested it for accuracy yet. That's going to be in the next video. But we've shot a lot through the gun. More specifically, we shot a lot suppressed. And the TCR-22 comes with a 1/2x28 threaded barrel, so that's going to be for your standard 22 long rifle suppressors. Furthermore, what I didn't mention yet on the stock is that you will have 2 sling attachment points, so you'll be able to attach a sling, carry it on your back. Once again, the rifle is very lightweight. We've had 10-year-old kids shooting it, and they loved it. It was not that difficult to control. And one of the things, particularly for anybody who has tried to train or instruct a brand new shooter, you'll notice that, hey, if the gun is too heavy, after 4 or 5 rounds, it becomes astonishingly heavy. And the will to learn how to shoot properly just disappears. With this gun, you can go through a brick at 22, and it's still going to feel lightweight. It's going to be a joy, even with a suppressor. One other feature of the 10-22 that I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy is that out of the box, it has a very nice trigger. So it's not quite like the Ruger competition trigger, but it's fairly close. It's a nice clean break. I mean, especially for what you're going to be paying for this rifle. Now you can upgrade, because inside it's pretty much exactly the same as a Ruger 10-22 anyhow. So you can use Ruger 10-22 accessories both on the outside or inside, including the trigger. So if you have your favorite 10-22 trigger, it'll drop right in. Lastly, on the fore end of the stock, you do have an M-Lok rail slots that you can attach a bipod or any other accessories that you want to use. So that's the major features that you'll notice on the outside. Now there is another YouTuber, and I will include a video link, who's gone and broken down both the 10-22 and the TCR-22 in depth, and it's a terrific video, and I suggest you do take a look at it if you're serious about the video. I'm sorry, if you're serious about the rifle. What I will point out, however, without taking this gun down, is that one of the common complaints, so to speak, about a regular Ruger 10-22 is that if you did want to clean it, you would have to clean it from the muzzle end. The problem is, if you're sticking in a patch, you're kind of going against the bore. And some people don't like that. So what people have done is they have drilled holes in the back of the Ruger receivers so that once you take out the bolt, you'd be able to slide a patch in from the back and run it out. What Thompson Center has done is, and I'll include a picture here, they've already drilled a hole in the back of the receiver, so it saves you a little bit of trouble. So that's the TCR-22. So, first impressions. I've had a chance to shoot the gun for about 2 weeks now, and I like it a lot. More than myself, though, everyone else who's had a chance to shoot it loved it. Both experienced shooters, brand new shooters, and kids, they love shooting the gun, and they actually ended up putting more rounds through the gun than myself. The first time we took it out to the range, I just took it straight out of the box. I did not clean it, I did not lube it, and we put through 2 bricks, at least, of bulk pack, both Federal 40 grain and the less clean Winchester 22 long rifle bricks. And we shot it suppressed. There had been no malfunctions with the exception of one, which was an ammo issue. Primer, it was hit, it did not go bang, took it out, looked at it, inspected it, put it back in the mag, and it fired it again, and it worked that time. Otherwise, there was no stoppages with either of the mags, and we've run the TCR-22 mags, and we've run regular Ruger mags, and we ran about 8 of them at a time, and it was a joy to shoot. There's absolutely zero malfunctions with the exception of one ammo-related one. In between, we did spray a little bit of oil, just because running it with a suppressor does get dirty, but otherwise the gun was not disassembled for cleaning or anything else like that. Overall, it was a joy. The 2 features that I love about the gun is that while it is lightweight, the fiber optic sight on the front and the Peep sight in the back is phenomenal. It is nice and clear to see. Even with sunglasses in overcast days, I love fiber optic sights, and it works really well for this gun. I think they should be standard. It does come with a green fiber optic sight standard. And if you want to replace it with red, if that is your preference, you can just replace it yourself. Just buy some fiber optic cable, cut it, put the new one in, use a lighter to melt it, cut it again here and melt it again, and it's going to be on there for good. There are a couple of reviews that I saw before making my video that I noticed that they had some issues with the sights not being on properly. But I think there's something with that gun because it did not come with the green fiber optic sight, it was with red, and possibly somebody had that gun before, whatnot, at the FFL. Not saying anything at Thompson Center, but possibly at the dealer where we bought the gun. And the second feature that I love about it is that it comes threaded for a suppressor. Now, obviously, if you live in a oppressive state, New York, New Jersey, California, and you cannot have suppressors, that's not going to do much for you. But if you do live in free America, it's great to have it on there. And once again, it's 1/2x28, so it's standard thread pattern that you can throw on any 22 can, and it is astonishingly quiet. We've shot it with both quiet CCI ammo and standard 40 grain and a couple other subsonic rounds, and it was quiet in all cases, and it was absurdly quiet with the quiet ammo, the 710 feet per second one. The problem with that ammo, though, is that it would already not cycle the bolt. The only downside for the gun that I have, personally, is that it is only available technically in one color, which is this OD green, and it's available in 2 camo patterns. Now, if you want this as a field gun or as a varmint gun, it's going to be great. But if you're just going out to the range or for target shooting and whatnot, really your choice is OD green or OD green. I do wish they had this in black, possibly gray or whatnot. But of course, it's a standard Ruger 1022 pattern type gun, so you can always replace it with any 1022 compatible stock, such as from Boyd's or whoever else is that you want to use. It is compatible, once again, with all accessories, so this is where the package is, and you can modify it to your heart's content, and it's going to work great. So where does the gun fit? Obviously, you do have a number of competing players. The most direct one is the Ruger 10/22, so I'll handle that first. Versus the 10/22, I think this is going to fit great kind of like in that middle price point. So if you want a gun with a nicer trigger or something that's lighter weight or better sights, this is going to work great. And the price point's kind of like right around so the MSRP is in the high mid 300s, and people have been getting them street price for about $300. Last year, Thompson Center did also run a $50 rebate on the gun. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but you're able to pick this up for about $260 after rebate, which I think at that price, it is a phenomenal deal. It's a great gun for the money. Even without the rebate, I think it makes sense in the following case. Now, if you want a standard gun, such as a regular 10/22, you just want a 10/22 that you can go plink, or let's say, for example, you're a little bit tighter on the budget. I think a regular Ruger stock 10/22 is going to be your best bet. It's going to come in a bit cheaper, and it's a terrific rifle. You are going to have a heavier stock on there. You're not going to have the sights. The rail is not going to be built in. So if you are going to change any of that, I think you might save your money a little bit and go up to this gun. Beyond that, though, if you want a bull barrel or a nicer barrel, you are going to have to go with a Ruger 10/22, preferably versus this gun. Now, even though you can swap a barrel on this gun, the stock is contoured specifically for this barrel. So if you put a bull barrel on there, you might have to do some more trimming of the stock. There are more options with regular Ruger 10/22s. The other thing to consider, and once again I mentioned barrels, a regular Ruger 10/22 is going to come with a cold hammer forged barrel. This is a standard button rifle barrel. That's the choice is basically up to you. Generally, you're not going to be shooting these guns at more than 150 yards anyway. So I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make, but it is going to be something that I'm going to follow up on and compare the accuracy of this gun and the various 10/22s for the next video. But shooting it out at the range up to about 70, 80 yards, we had absolutely no issues hitting steel plates at that distance with any of the ammo that we were shooting through it. And that was, once again, with the regular fiber optic sight and the Peep sight in the back. I'm sure if we put an optic or a scope on it, it would be even better shooter. So if you do want, so what it really boils down to is if you want a bull barrel, or if you want a takedown model, you do have to go with the Ruger. There is no takedown model of the TCR-22. I don't know if it has to do with patents or they're just testing the waters, but you don't have that. So this gun, hopefully you can understand what I mean by it kind of fits right there in the middle. Beyond that, your competition is going to be fairly wide, and I'm going to consult my Slav notes here. So you're going to have your various Marlins, you're going to have the one with the magazine, you're going to have the Marlin Model 60 with the tube, you are going to have models from Winchester and Savage and a couple other companies. So those guns are out there as well. There's not as much aftermarket parts for them. So I suppose if you're going to copy something, you might as well copy the Ruger 10/22 because there's just a plethora of parts out there. Almost possibly, maybe even more than for your Glocks. And that's why you see so many designer Glocks out there that patent themselves like a regular Glock, but with better features. So that's my first impressions after a couple thousand rounds for the gun. Honestly, I gotta tell you guys, I love this gun. I think for the price point and where it fits, it's a phenomenal gun, and I'm gonna have a hard time letting this one go. We just might end up having to keep it. So there you go. That's a Thompson Center TCR-22. A special thanks to Todd at Freedom Sports for providing the transfer for this gun. If you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, do help the channel out. make sure you hit the like button below, do subscribe to the channel and get those notifications, and do share it with your friends. Until next time, thanks for watching. Alright. I got a freaking splinter. Okay, so let's talk about my first impressions. So far, I've had the gun for about 2 weeks and taken out on a couple of days to the range, and people loved it.